Hey there, welcome to the Loose Lumiere channel. Welcome to your Christmas day. Merry Christmas, everybody. To your Christmas day reading. Excuse me, December 25th. What is the guidance that you have for us today on this merry day? The birth of my Lord and Savior, my personal Lord and Savior. What is the animal spirit guiding us today? What's the message for us today, please? Dolphin spirit. Aw, little baby. I love that. Dolphin spirit says this and that are true. We have a habit of thinking only. I did an in-depth experiential love reading called You and the Boo, 2.5 hours long. And one of my main things in going in that, I literally had like another download, by the way, in the shower. Anyway, of a reading, and I was gonna just like come on live, but I lost it. Maybe it'll come back to me, whatever. In any case, Dolphin Spirit says this and that are true, and this reminds me of that in-depth experiential love reading, because everybody has a side, everybody has a story, everybody believes they are right for the most part, vindicated. Yeah. Period. Let's read this, shall we? This and that are true. I hear a dolphin in my head. Don't they make that like a clicky noise? Dolphin spirit, like her earthly manifestation, is a reminder of duality. As the dolphin is both mammal and sea creature, so too is dolphin spirit, both this and that. Two truths coexist, the story you tell and another as well. It rhymes. The duality of life is present when we are suffering, for there is a blessing too in the helpers that appear. It's very interesting. Within clouds are silver linings when we later reflect on what happened. We can see that a situation was both this and that, and a choice led to both joy and sorrow. No relationship is either all good or all bad, and people have qualities of both light and shadow. Focus on the positive, for light exists alongside the darkness. Dolphin spirit calls for you. This is what I was thinking about in the shower. I just remembered. Wow. It was about how in the spiritual or new age sort of whatever community, or how it's commonplace to praise joy, and even I will talk about like the focusing on what you want. I believe there's a time and a place. I believe that personally there's when you are low and like really really low, in a point where, and this is like the marker for lowness, right? Where you're low in such a way that when you try to think about a future that's better, when you try to imagine and go to your fantasy place, it hurts. Where your dreams, your wishes, your desires, these things that are meant to light you up, actually take you down deeper into, the depths of despair and sorrow because you don't have them. Where your wanting of it creates this deeper experience of not having there, which essentially creates and furthers the perpetuation of the fact, or at least the thought and the perception, that where you're at right now is wrong and where you're wanting to be is right. Where you are right now is bad and where you are wanting to be is good. What you have right now is less than, and what you are wanting to have is what, is best or better. I don't like that, because where you're at is where you're at is where you're at sometimes. And there's a certain, you can't make the leap from -50 to fucking 50. That's too much of an expectation for people. It's too high of a jump. And the best, I mean, if you can go from -50 to 0, it's better. Even my spiritual mentor will talk about this often when I go to her freaking out about whatever. She'll say, Luz, don't even think about getting into where you are wanting to be. Just be in the present moment. Just be in the present moment. Just be in the present moment. And what I'm here to say is sometimes where we're at sucks. But it sucks even more when we don't acknowledge all of it. When we don't see, when we refuse to see where we're at and make peace with where we're at. When we make peace with where we're at, don't confuse what I'm saying with where you're at. If you make peace with that, that means you've built a whole home. No. You're giving yourself permission to breathe in where you're at. You're giving yourself permission to not make yourself wrong, to not make yourself fight yourself in an arena where you're at. You're giving yourself and the space you're in permission to exist because it already does exist, okay? And it's only until you sort of find some semblance of peace, some semblance of calm, some semblance of going from -50 to 40 to -40 to -30 to -20 to -10, that it's much easier to go from -10 to 0, from 0 to 10, from 10 to 30. It's about taking it step by step, and in that is in the acknowledgement of where you're at, and maybe even the accepting, but just looking at it and saying, you know what, this is where it's at. My room is dirty. Until you acknowledge that your room is dirty, you can't fully do what you need to do to get yourself out of a dirty room, because you're over here fantasizing, you're over here dreaming about a clean room, and then you look at your room and you're like, oh, you're overwhelmed, and it's just shit again. You're even deeper than you were before. It's like losing weight. I've been trying to lose weight. I've been trying so hard to lose weight. I need to lose fat, and the techniques are to envision your body the way you want it to be. But what happens? You envision yourself and you're like, all right, yeah, you're in that vibrational space, and then you feel something, or you look at yourself and you're like, fuck, I'm not there. I will never be there. It's too high a fucking climb to be there. And so what do? You eat your fucking feelings. Like, you continue to perpetuate the space you're in because you haven't acknowledged all of the space that you're in some cases. So for me, what I need to do, what I've been trying to do, is I love myself, but love myself even more. Show a little bit more compassion to where I'm at. Not vilify my choices to the extent that I continue to do it. If I'm an emotional eater, I'm not doing personal readings right now. It seems to be a little bit too much energy. So if you want to donate to a channel, thank you. But there seems to be a little bit, something's going on. And I realize when I'm reading, or when there's just like an energy spike, or there's something, I will eat as a form of comfort, as a form of thinking, as a form of doing something, so that I can figure something out or not have to feel something. So what I'm essentially saying is, if I continue to make the place that I'm at wrong, if I continue to make the body I have wrong and inappropriate, and my members will get this, they know exactly where I'm going with this, then I will continue digging an even deeper hole. For me, I need to love myself where I'm at, aka acknowledge where I'm at, and not just look at the fact that I need to lose a certain amount of fat. I need to say, hey, you know what? At least, yes, I need to lose a certain amount of fat. This is what I'm doing. Look at the facts of what I'm doing, right? This and that are true. This is where I'm at, and this is what I want, and both of those are true. this is where I'm at and this is where I'm going, and both of those can be true. Just because I'm here doesn't mean I'll never get that. Just because that's what I want doesn't mean this isn't something that isn't somehow here for my benefit in some sort of way. And obviously, when someone is going through something like homelessness, when someone is going through something horrible, it's hard to look at the hell that they're in and see that there's and make peace with it. It is hard, but it's not necessarily getting to the point of acceptance. It's at least bit by bit get to the point of acknowledging where you're at and not making it wrong necessarily, because we tend to rebel and fight. It's just we're digging ourselves deeper into that hole. Let me keep reading because I didn't even get into the other stuff. No relationship is either all good or all bad, and people have qualities of both light and shadow. Focus on the positive, for light exists alongside the darkness. Dolphin spirit calls for you to come up from below and enjoy a weightless moment in the sun as you dive in and out of this and then that, accepting and even enjoying the duality of life. Why not join dolphin spirit in acknowledging, come through, ain't that beautiful shit, and affirming the blessings present in this moment, bitch. Come on. This is exactly what I said. Come through. Aww. In all areas of your life, there are aspects of both this and that. Today, you can celebrate this fact and recognize the complexity and the beauty of the fabric of the universe. You are at a place right now where your past self is still present as you move toward the new self you are becoming. I literally just said this. Awesome. Aspects of both selves are present, so even if you want to say goodbye to what was, you are required to find solace in this between time. I literally just said this. Come through. Oh my god. It's like, this is what I mean, man. By these downloads and these channeling, I don't want to call channelings, it's too intense for me, but yeah. Today is not a day to choose one over another either, but rather to accept things as they are without judgment or resistance. Oh, this is, yes, exactly. Like, exactly. Not looking at where you're at and making it wrong. I've never even read this card before. I'm still getting to know this deck. There's like 68 cards. Even in the matters of the heart, duality is present. Your next action will be obvious when you drop your bias and see things as a whole. So how can you do this today? I'm not going to pull any other cards. I feel like this message was pretty wholesome and enough. So I hope you have a Christmas that's nice today when you're spending it either with whomever you're spending it. Some people have experienced loss, especially as we get older. The holidays become a source of joy and heartache. Allow yourself to experience the joy and allow yourself to experience the heartache. Both of those things are things that you will experience, and both of those things are feelings that you're allowed to experience. Experiencing the joy of the holiday season, of being with people who you care about, of seeing people happy and smiling. And the Christmas season is one of my favorite seasons. I think it's dropped though. Like, Lent is definitely my new number one, like 100% for sure. They used to be neck and neck, but Lent is definitely taking the cake. Like, Easter season is just, I love it. I love it. I was just like time to bond with Jesus, and like I just love it. So in any case, there's that joy, right? It's, Jesus is born, it's this promise, and it's this, this beautiful thing, the greatest story ever told, la la la. And if you're Christian, like, you know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, it's also a time of sadness because there's some loved ones who maybe aren't around this year. There's maybe some people who you would have preferred to spend the day with or the season with. There's some sadness here. So allow yourself to experience this and that of the season. Don't make either one wrong, and don't make either one shunned. You can have a moment of mourning on the day, as in like mourning, mourning, and have a moment, look, I would say have the rest of the day as a day of joy, but you can have that for yourself on this day. You don't have to ignore the mourning, you don't have to ignore the joy. You can feel both and allow yourself to. If this isn't just other things, the message remains the same, and I trust that you are savvy enough to transfer this situation to the rest of your life, how it affects you on this day in whatever way. So I wish you everything, babe. Keep your light on, and good luck. Oh, I'm not doing personal readings right now, and so if you'd like to donate to the channel, that would be pretty great. I should probably put a donation link, shouldn't I, in the description box. Okay, well, it'll be there if you're looking to donate. If you can't find it, it's somewhere on the About page or something. Alright, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and Merry Christmas.